For fiscal year 2026, the University of Illinois system budget is $8.9 billion. The system is composed of 3 universities in Urbana-Champaign, Chicago, and Springfield, a hospital, a healthcare system, and system offices. The budgets of 3 universities, the hospital, and the system offices together make up $8.9 billion. The U of I system's revenue comes from multiple sources: general operating funds, used to support instructional and other academic activities; restricted funds, money that can only be used for a specific purpose; and hospital funds that are associated with UI Health, which deliver care through the University of Illinois Chicago Hospital and clinics. 18% of the total budget, or $1.6 billion, represents payments for pensions and employee health benefits that the state pays on the system's behalf. The rest of this video will focus on the $7.3 billion that support all the activities of the system and these 3 categories. Here are the different sources of revenue that make up the $7.3 billion. General operating funds consist of state appropriations, tuition, royalties, and assessments earned across the university system. This determines how much money can be spent on instructional activities, faculty and staff salaries, student financial aid, instructional facilities, and student services like counseling and advising. Restricted funds include revenues that typically cannot be used to fund general academic operations. They include sources which generate revenue for specific purposes: athletics, housing and dining, student unions, recreational facilities, and patient care are some examples. Other sources of restricted funds are grants, federal appropriations for agriculture programs, gifts, and endowment income. Direct state support and tuition are the 2 most important components and resources for our academic endeavors. Although the state has increased investments in higher education in the past 2 years, direct state support is still significantly below where it was 20 years ago, placing a larger financial responsibility on students and their families. 20 years ago, the state provided $2 in direct support to the university system for every $1 in tuition revenue. Today, there are $2 of tuition for every $1 of direct state support. At the same time, system-wide enrollment has increased by nearly 30,000 students. In fact, the system's 3 universities enroll over half of all students attending public universities in the state, 53% of all public university students in Illinois. The budget helps the system to deliver on its mission and supports instruction, cutting-edge research, student services, patient care, and facilities operations. The 3 largest categories of expenses are for instruction, research, and patient care activities. About 49.5% of the system's budget is used to support people through salaries and benefits. To help make students' education more affordable, over the last decade, the 3 universities have increased institutional financial aid by 54% to $318 million in 2026. Institutional aid provides nearly as much as federal and state aid combined, even more than Pell and MAP grants. In summary, the system's $8.9 billion budget supports instruction, cutting-edge research, student services, patient care, and facilities operations that help make the University of Illinois system altogether extraordinary.